On Monday afternoon, Victorian Labor MP Ms Garrett, the former Emergency Services Minister, was callously attacked in Drummond Street in Carlton in Melbourne's north. Ms Garrett suffered from minor injuries and reportedly had her hair pulled, and a woman attempted to push her through a plate glass window. A 52-year-old woman was arrested on Monday night and taken to hospital for assessment. It was suggested Ms Garrett knew the attacker, and the Herald Sun reports the woman arrested had been interacting with members of the Labor Party for a long time. Ms Garrett told the Herald Sun it was frightening. Meanwhile, in New South Wales, Deputy Premier Troy Grant has been receiving death threats since the decision was made to ban greyhound racing. AAP reports 2 men made threatening phone calls to Mr Grant's electoral office in Dubbo in the New South Wales Central West in the past week. The men, aged 22 and 31, are members of the greyhound industry. They were arrested in Molong, near Orange, on Saturday. The 22-year-old was charged with using carriage services to threaten to kill, and use carriage service to menace, harass, offend, while the 31-year-old was charged with the latter offence. Both men were granted strict conditional bail to appear at Orange Local Court on September 5. A third man has since been charged over the death threats, and a 25-year-old was arrested after a search was carried out on his Schofield's home in Sydney's west. He was charged with intimidation and using a carriage service to threaten serious harm. He has been granted bail and will appear in Blacktown Local Court next month. Mr Grant has declined to comment about the death threats, and a spokesman for Premier Mike Baird said he could not comment on whether the Premier had also received threats. The spokesman would not comment on what security measures were being taken to protect MPs. However, Victorian Premier Daniel Andrews said his parliament was expected to review security for MPs following Ms Garrett's horrifying daylight attack. Mr Andrews doesn't want to see MPs forced to restrict their movements. The fact you can go down to the local shops. The fact you can be part of the community you lead and work for. That's a precious thing, and I wouldn't want to see that changed, he told reporters on Tuesday. But the Premier admitted Monday's nasty incident was a reminder that politicians had to be vigilant. I'm sure the Parliament's Speaker and President will also look at these sorts of issues. Quote, Mr Andrews said, friends and foes from across the political spectrum have rallied around the former minister. I'm horrified by reports that Ms Garrett has been attacked today. Hope she is okay and her assailant is caught. Shadow Minister Margaret Fitzherbert tweeted, just heard the terrible news that Ms Garrett has been assaulted in Carlton. Hope she is okay. My thoughts are with her and her family. Greens MP Ellen Sandell said. Ms Garrett quit her ministerial post earlier this year after refusing to back a CFA enterprise agreement that the Premier pushed through Cabinet. The threat to Australian MPs comes after a politician in the United Kingdom fell victim to a very violent and extreme attack. British Labour MP Jo Cox was shot and stabbed to death in a Yorkshire street in June. In the months leading up to her attack, she received hate mail and threats, and she was just days away from receiving more security when she was killed. Tommy Mayer, 52, allegedly killed Ms Cox, and witnesses said they heard him shout, "Put Britain first." He also allegedly yelled, "Britain first," the name of a far-right group that supports Brexit, a term used for the withdrawal of the United Kingdom from the European Union. Ms Cox died for her political views as she was a supporter of the Remain campaign, which was fighting to keep the United Kingdom in the European Union. In 2011, a person also tried to assassinate Gabrielle Giffords, an American politician from the U.S. state of Arizona. The former Democratic Congresswoman was shot in the head in January 2011 when she was meeting with constituents outside a supermarket in Tucson, Arizona. She was forced to resign in 2012 to focus on her recovery, and Associated Press reported Ms. Giffords posted a 2-minute video to her Facebook page saying she didn't remember much from that horrible day. "I'm getting better. Every day my spirit is high. I will return and we will work together for Arizona and this great country," she said.